Hey everybody, my name is Ben Goto and I'm the lead maintainer of the Mailspring email client. So today I'm going to demo the OAuth flow and how Gmail OAuth appears within the Mailspring app. So a typical user would install Mailspring by visiting our website and clicking on the download Mailspring button. We'll let this download complete. So once they have the application downloaded, they would unzip it, and in my case, I'm going to drag it to my applications folder. From there, I'll launch Mailspring. Open. All right, and I'm greeted with a Welcome to Mailspring screen. From here, I'll click on Get Started, and the app presents a brief product tour. Once I get through the product tour, it asks me to create a Mailspring ID. Mailspring is an offline desktop email client, similar to Thunderbird or something like that, or Mac's Mail.app. And we don't sync your email accounts and passwords to the cloud. We do, however, require that you create an account so that we can sync metadata like snooze dates and read receipts across the computers that you connect. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Mailspring ID. And after I do that, the app prompts me to link my first email account. So at this point, for the purposes of this demo, we're going to choose Gmail. So this redirects me to a web browser and says choose an account to continue with Mailspring. You'll notice up here, if we look in the URL, that the redirect URL, the destination of this OAuth flow, is localhost. So once we complete this, it's going to go straight back to the application with the refresh and access tokens. So I'm going to go ahead and choose an email account, and it's going to prompt me to sign in to that account. I'm going to have to retrieve the password for this. Okay, so I'm going to sign in to that account. I've previously authorized Mailspring, so there aren't any further steps in the browser there. The page that it redirects to here is just a generic completion screen that instructs you to return to the app. We mostly show this screen because it's actually not possible to programmatically close that browser tab. So when we return to the Mailspring app, it asks me to choose and configure a couple final settings, and I can say looks good and finish setup. So now I can see the main window of the Mailspring application, and you can see my email starts to come in. So here's an example conversation. As I mentioned before, this is a full desktop email client, similar to something like Thunderbird. And so I can view and reply to email and snooze things and et cetera, et cetera. So the other thing that the two other scopes, the restricted scopes that Mailspring uses, in addition to the Gmail scope, is contacts and calendar. So Mailspring uses the contacts scope to enable auto-completion in the composer. So you can see I get results right here. These are based on my Google contacts, in addition to people that I've emailed in the past. That's currently the extent of our Google Contacts integration, though we're hoping to build a full desktop address book feature into Mailspring soon. The next restricted scope that we use, or the last restricted scope that we use, is the calendar OAuth scope. Later this year, Mailspring is going to be launching a full desktop calendar solution. Right now, that's available under the developer menu if you go to Calendar Preview. And so when I open the Calendar Preview, you'll see it start to sync all the events in my calendar. And this is connecting to Google Calendar via the CalDAV API, which requires the calendar scope. And so you can see I can browse through my events and double-click things to get more information. Currently, the calendar is read-only, and we're actively developing this feature. So I expect it to launch in a couple of months. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that that clarifies how we use the Gmail OAuth flow and what it looks like to our users. Thank you.